Welcome to South Texas Youth Soccer's Guide to Supporting a Safe Return to Play. My name is Gareth Glick, Assistant Technical Director for South Texas Youth Soccer. This presentation is intended to serve as a guide as clubs and teams determine their own protocols during return to play in accordance with the guidelines provided from the state of Texas. For more detailed information, please visit our website or our YouTube channel to listen to the full recording from our recent webinar. As you return to training, there are 5 areas for you to consider. Preparation is vital. Have a plan in place and communicate that plan consistently with coaches, players, and parents. Utilize electronic communication prior to training to send out graphics of guidelines, field markings, entrance and exit flows, training setups, and any other information that you deem important. Continue to update and reinforce your plan with your membership. It's also recommended that you create time gaps between training sessions to limit the interaction between groups that are leaving training and arriving to training. Utilizing volunteers or staff members to guide players and parents to and from the fields and to monitor during the sessions can help with implementation. Creating cohorts within teams is encouraged, and efforts should be made to avoid mixing players and coaches between cohorts. This will help with contact tracing should an outbreak occur and could prevent a large-scale outbreak that forces a larger number of groups to stop training or causes a club to stop training entirely. Hygiene is obviously an area of focus. Hand sanitizer stations should be provided. Players should avoid high fives or close proximity celebrations. Equipment such as training bibs should not be shared between players, and coaches should set out, pick up, and move any training equipment during the course of the session. After each training session, coaches should properly disinfect equipment using a CDC recommended disinfectant. Planning of training sessions becomes more important than ever before. Coaches should give careful thought to the age, maturity, and playing level of the players they're coaching. Consideration should be given to the size of the cohort, the organization of the available space, and the work to rest ratios as players reacclimate to the physical exertion of training and the summer heat. Physical distancing between coaches and players should be thought out, including planning for instruction and breaks in play for water. Assigning each player to a specific location with their equipment at the start of training is a great way to maintain social distancing during those times. Spectators must also be clear on their role in maintaining a safe environment. When possible, encourage spectators to stay in their cars to prevent large gatherings or crowded areas. If spectators are not able to remain in their cars, 6 feet social distancing guidelines should be followed, and face masks should be worn where appropriate and safe to do so. Most importantly, consideration of the human element must be at the forefront for coaches and clubs during return to play. The last few months have affected players in different ways. Players will return in varying degrees of physical fitness and development. Seeing schools close and not being able to be around friends and teammates will have had an impact on players' mental state and their sense of belonging. Now, more than ever, it's important for coaches to understand their players and their environment away from soccer so they can help to guide them and provide a safe environment once again. Above all else, players should feel comfortable not attending a training or competitive event if they do not feel comfortable in that setting or if they don't feel well. Players and families should feel confident in making those decisions free of judgment or consequences. So what might a return to play look like? Here's an example of a possible phased-in return to play. Beginning in phase 1 with individualized skill training and small group training that maintains social distancing and is free from contact. From there, phase 2 might progress to introduce pressure and then contact with the goal of building up to small-sided games and intra-squad scrimmages, while following state and local guidelines for group sizes. Phase 3 would eliminate restrictions on the size of groups in training and allow for a full return to play. During this phase, travel and games outside of the club or community would be considered safe, but clubs and teams should consider their opponents' training environments, protocols, as well as their risk versus reward of playing that game with teams outside of the controlled environment that they've created. As you implement a phased return to training, it should be made clear to all participants and stakeholders that phases might not have finite start dates, and that an outbreak at any time could lead to a team or a club returning to a previous phase or remaining in a phase for a prolonged period of time. Sharing this approach may help encourage participants to follow the guidelines that you have created in the hopes of creating a safe environment. If you would like further information in planning your return to play, there's a wealth of information through various sources as listed here. And I would strongly encourage you to listen to our full detailed presentation as mentioned at the start of this presentation. As always, the state office is here to answer any questions, provide support, and offer guidance. Please feel free to contact myself, Janae Buklowski, Jennifer Davis, or Noah Taylor via email, or by calling the South Texas Youth Soccer office at the number listed to the right. We look forward to seeing everyone back on the fields safely in the coming months.